A very warm welcome to round 4 of Ferrari Challenge in Europe for 2026. We are here for race 2 at the Circuit de la Sarthe in Le Mans, as we support the 24-hour race with 2 races from our Ferrari Challenge European season here in France. As you would expect, being here has attracted an eclectic mix of our fantastic Ferrari Challenge drivers from around the world. We have drivers here from Europe, from the UK, from North America, also from Japan, and already spectators, of course, champing at the bit to find the perfect vantage point, not only for the 24-hour race to come, but more importantly, for us, the challenge race to come. We are midway through the calendar right now for 2026. From here, we head off to Portimao, then it is Budapest, and then round 7 is in the Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona, which is where we will head towards the end of November. This is an extraordinary circuit, and we had an extraordinary race 1 from the Ferrari Challenge. You can see our paddock to the left-hand side of your screen there, and all the drivers and the teams all terribly excited about being here. Track temperature is 24 degrees, the air temperature is 16 degrees. Weather conditions are set fair. Hello, good morning to you, welcome. Hope you're going to enjoy the race as much as we are. And as I was saying, race 1 was an awesome race, and we're expecting the same to come from race 2. Over 60 Ferrari Challenge drivers that will take to the track. We have 4 different categories, 4 classes. Our Pirelli drivers have a red strip across the top of the windscreen. Our Pirelli Am drivers with a white strip across the top of the windscreen. Our Shell drivers have a yellow strip across the top of their windscreen. And the Shell Am drivers with a black strip across the top of the windscreen. Hope that explains everything. Here's Melissa Kozira.
Hi, I'm Melissa Kozira. I normally drive the 108 for Ferrari Challenge North America. It's my first time here at Le Mans. I would say it was a little overwhelming. The track is amazing. Huge, but it's fast, and I'm really enjoying it. I typically do pretty well in the wet, actually, so I think I was P2 in class. I had a little bit slower pace than I wanted, but I know where I need to improve, and we're excited for the race. Competing against other drivers from other countries adds a little bit of challenge, because I know the drivers in North America. I know how they drive. I know typically what their pace is. And so now we're adding these new people in that you know nothing about. So it adds a bit of challenge to it. I am currently P1 in Shell Am for North America. My goal is to stay P1, obviously. I finished P3 last year, so it would be nice to bring home a true championship this year. I did exceptionally well at Finale Mondiale last year, but, you know, I put in a lot of practice, and I think that practice pays off. So hopefully this year, I have a duplicate in Barcelona.
She is a fantastic, feisty lady, Melissa Kozira, who loves the action, Tony Verlander. We first met her when she came from our Club Challenge program, which is kind of like a feeder into the Ferrari Challenge, and where you test yourself against the clock rather than with other drivers. And then coming into the Ferrari Challenge, she's really hit the ground running, Tony.
Yeah, good morning. Yes, she's been the star in Ferrari North America, and really just a beautiful person to meet at the paddock or Casa Ferrari at the FNA events. And then she's fast and furious on track. Really, really good speed and pole positions race wins this year.
Thank you, Tony. This was the Drivers' Parade yesterday.
This is, again, very special, and we love it, of course. That experience, one of the best of my life.
The parade is just incredible.
So amazing. That's one of the sole reasons I came back to Ferrari Challenge, is to be racing in Le Mans.
And then you see the fans that are just so excited about Le Mans. I mean, they come here especially for this race.
Antonello Coletta, you must be so proud.
Yes, we are very, very proud, and we say here with all our Ferrari Challenge drivers is a dream. And Le Mans is Le Mans. It's magic, and I hope that at the end of the weekend we are satisfied like the 23, 24 and 25.
All I can say is good luck, Antonello.
I cross the fingers. Bye-bye. Ciao, ciao.
Antonello Coletta is Global Head of Endurance and Corsa Clienti, and with us on the air for this race is Ferrari driver ambassador Tony Verlander. Antonello Coletta is the architect of much success, isn't he?
Yeah, I've been with Antonello almost 20 years. We started with the GT cars, and nowadays the commitment of Ferrari is amazing. I mean, to be in the hypercar category and then to bring here also the Ferrari Challenge, it's something very, very special and shows the success of the whole program everywhere, from Ferrari Challenge up to the hypercar.
Tony, you've been here as we're looking at the Circuit de l'Assas. You've been here. You've worn the T-shirt. You've won here, Tony, in the 24-hour race. This circuit extracts maximum from you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a very special track. It has twice, almost 3 times the length of a normal circuit that we normally race with. So obviously you need to know and learn the track, and then there is special tricks. Each corner has its best special character, and also during the weekend the track condition changes quite a lot, so the lap time improvement or the track being slower can be really, really big difference. So you need experience here.
Thank you very much, Tony. We'll be hearing more from our Ferrari driver ambassador, Tony Verlander, during the course of the program. We had such an awesome race 1. We are hoping for the same in race 2. There was lots and lots of drama, all good drama, it has to be said. And there wasn't a driver that I spoke to after the race that did not have a smile beaming from ear to ear. Because racing drivers want competition, they want to have a good race, and so many of them did. It was heartbreak for Dylan Medler, who had such a fantastic race with Fernando Monche, but Dylan had a slow puncture towards the end of the race. It was heartbreak for him. Bernard Gomez and Jay Logan, as we take a look at the grid from back to front. John Turner, big character. Kevin King alongside. Then we see Louis Peruskia and Fabian Sperman. And it's Steve Czech and Lawrence Lau. They're going P54 and 53. What a huge grid of Ferrari Challenge cars. So Rodin Yanesi and John Lennon are on the 26th row of our grid. The shuttle drivers Lisa Clark and Peter Hunter go from P50 and P49 with Yasuhito Fuji and Alwas Maya on the next row. Then it's Roy Carroll and Shintaro Akatsu. I spent time with Roy Carroll on the parade just yesterday. Andrea Seminara and Ian Morris are 44 and 43rd on the grid. Alexei Komarov, Alvaro Ramos, they are 42nd and 41st. Bear in mind, I'm going from the grid from an overall point of view. Henrik Kamstrup is there. Leon Rindbeek and Fritz Muller go from P38 and P37. Then we can see Melissa Kozira, who we heard from in the program just a few moments ago. Masara Yaneda. Melissa leading the Copa Championship in the States at the moment. Ofer Levy and Karl Runefeld. He was an entertainer in the parade doing handstands, I'll have you know. Sven Schirmer and Jean Roux. Then we see Andrei Lewandowski and Robin Mays. And it's Jan Salmon and Fons Skelsmar going from P28 and P27. They're both Shell drivers, as indeed is Eric Chung and Ernst Kirkmeyer. To the 12th row of the grid, we find Tibor Valint and Mitchell Green. Mitchell Green, another North America Ferrari Challenge star. Jan Bernier and Joseph Dean going from P22 and 21. Joseph Dean from the UK Ferrari Challenge, as is Paul Simerson. And then Adrian Lewandowski, a European driver, as are Herbert Geis and Otto Blank. It's Anders Bidstrup and Fouad Alghanim here from Kuwait. Great to welcome Fouad back into the European Series. Max Micheli and Jacob Bidstrup. Then we see Nobuhiro Imada and Juha Turalba. Welcome, Juha, to the Ferrari Challenge. Danilo Del Favaro, Hendrik Viol, always a force to be reckoned with. Giacomo Ronaldo and Andrew Morrow. Hendrik Viol, of course, victorious in race 1. Blake McDonald and Michael Verhagen. Expect to see Michael Verhagen making moves early on, as he'll try and get past Enzo Eid and also Fernando Monche, potentially. But on the front row of the grid is Sergio Paulin and Dylan Medler. They go from those P1 and P2 starting positions, respectively. And as you can see, what happens here, Tony, is we grid the cars up so that we have the Pirelli and Pirelli Am drivers together and the Shell Am drivers together, and there's a gap between the two of them.
Yeah, this is a format that has been developed over the years, and especially here at Le Mans, we have over 60 cars on track, so we gave a better chance to have green flag racing and not to put all the 60 cars together. And I personally feel that this class split is a very good thing to do.
Thank you so much, Tony. And there you can see the cars are on their installation lap. Race duration is going to be 35 minutes. And as Tony says, with over 60 cars on the track, what we want to do is get a repetition of race 1 that we saw on Thursday, which was awesome racing. To be fair, Tony Verlander was on podium duties, and I had been given written instructions from the head honcho saying, release Tony 15 minutes before the end of the race. Tony just said, no way.
Well, as you can tell, pole position in Le Mans. I knew from the beginning of that lap it was going to be the lap. There's literally no better place to start on pole than Le Mans. So much history, and looking forward to bringing it home with a safe race and just enjoy it out there. And of course, thank you to the team. They gave an amazing car. Yeah.
From the collection and Ferrari of Miami, that was Dylan Medler who put it on pole position. Sorry, I crashed into him speaking. If only I'd known he was going to be there. We will hear from our pole sitter in Shell, which is going to be the Ferrari of Seattle driver, Jan Bernier, who, of course, is coached by Daniel Mancinelli. He himself is no mean racing driver, I can tell you. So there you can see Jan Bernier's car right behind the safety car there.
Hi, my name's Jan Bernier, driver of the number 399 Ferrari of Seattle Challenge car. Qualifying for the second race was basically based on our second best lap time. Mine was good enough to put it on pole for the second race. It was pretty interesting out there. I waited a little to get some clear track. I was able to get around, get some clean laps in, get to the end, come in and cool the tires down, get one more final lap that kind of helped in the end. And I'm looking forward to a really clean race. It's exciting to be here at Le Mans with my friends and family around, and Forza Ferrari.
He is a huge Ferrari enthusiast and such a nice man.
Yeah, I've mentioned a few times in FNA, so racing in North America, that he's the Mr. Consistency.
Yes.
Over the championship. Really fair, but at the same time, a good amount of being aggressive and being hard on the overtaking and very decisive with the overtaking moves. It's funny again, the driver next to him, Mitchell Green.
Another
great driver, and these two drivers had a great fight last year throughout the season. It came to one race, one DNF in FNA, but overall these two can bring a good show in Copa Shell.
I spoke to Mitchell the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix last year. He was there, and Mitchell's always in and around motor racing, and he tells a fantastic story. And well done to Mitchell, and well done to Jan Bernier, and well done to all our drivers in the Ferrari Challenge. And we extend our tentacles all around the world. So Tony mentions Ferrari North America. We're here with Ferrari Europe. We race in the UK. We also race in Australasia, Japan, and of course the Middle East as well. So this Ferrari Challenge bug, if you like, is extended all around the world. And Herbert Guys there, you can see weaving from side to side. Is it ever more important on a track like this to generate that temperature, Tony, or is it futile?
Yeah, I don't really know how much of an effect really that this weaving from side to side, but it gives a little bit of confidence to the driver. Yeah, you are building a little bit the tire pressure and the heat on the tire, but at the same time you get the feel for the tire itself. Is it sliding more than on race one? Is the car or the track different than it was on Thursday? So this gives a little bit of feeling, but I think the main studies have done the most tire warming you can do throughout the brakes. Brakes create heat through the wheel and then all the way to the tire. So I think that's the best way to warm up the tires.
That's the heat dissipation story, isn't it? You get the heat from the brakes, from the rotors, as you would say in the States.
Yes, yes.
Out through the rims and onto the tires. That's where that heat dissipation comes from.
Yeah, correct.
And you see some very aggressive weaving, others less so. Danilo Favreau really giving it some there. So too Nobuhiro Imada. So we'll see whether it pays off or not. 35 minutes the race duration then for the Ferrari Challenge. This race 2 of the weekend for the Ferrari Challenge here in support of the Le Mans 24-hour race. Huge crowd of people already here at the Le Mans circuit to enjoy the racing to come, and it is going to be full to the rafters of Ferrari fans wherever you look. I mean, the enthusiasm that we experienced in the drivers' parade yesterday. Now, as always, behind every successful racing driver there is a bunch of people that work in the team that put it all together as well. The lineup for the start is going to be like this. The cars have to go side by side in grid formation, Tony, so 2 by 2 if you like. The cars should run through what would be their grid boxes to make sure that the start is fair, clean and tidy. The grid formation 2 by 2. Sergio Paula champing at the bit to get going. Psychology trying to play a bit of a part here, Tony. Just, get the advantage if you can. The Richard Mills safety car will peel off into the pit lane, or the Richard Mills safety cars, because of course we have effectively 2 starts. We have the Pirelli and Pirelli Am drivers in one bunch, and then we have the Shell and the Shell Am drivers in another bunch as well. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Ferrari Challenge. Now, at this point, Tony Verlander is a hugely successful racing driver. What is going through you? I mean, is it nerves? Is it adrenaline? What is it?
No, it's eyes on the flag, eyes on the starting lights, and also be in the right gear.
Right.
To have the perfect acceleration. We are coming out of a very slow chicane, and then we have a long acceleration to the main straight, and all the way to the first chicane where we saw a lot of action on Thursday.
Stand by, hold on to your hats or any other loose clothing that you may have. We are about to go Ferrari Challenge racing for the second time here at Le Mans this weekend. Sergio Paula and Dylan Medler. Fernando Monche is right behind Dylan Medler. He'll want to be going for it here as well. You can see how close it is together as they will accelerate away. They've got to stay side by side in that 2 by 2 formation. We await the lights to go out, and when they do, the roar of these 296 Challenge cars as they head right now. Let's go racing. Ferrari Challenge is on. And is it going to be a brilliant start from Sergio Paulat? He's right in the middle of those cars as Enzo Eid tries to put himself ahead, and 1 or 2 going perhaps not as wide as we saw in race 1. We expect a couple of door mirrors maybe to go for a Burton. Indeed, one did. There you can see Joseph Dean in the 212 car on the back of that pack. Discretion the better part of valor as Dylan Medler tries to stretch his legs here, and Sergio Paulat gets back by Enzo Eid. And then it is McDonald and Morrow and Fernando Monche, who had a mare of a start and has dropped back down the order ahead of Michael Verhagen, Giacomo Rinaldo. Then it is Hendrik Viol. So that's the order on the left-hand side of your screen. Do bear in mind that the Shell drivers will be launching their start in moments from now. 2 packs of cars. We're watching the Pirelli and Pirelli Am drivers here. As for the first time of asking, they're onto the straight now, where you can command so much speed. And Joseph Dean and Paul Simerson side by side. We could just see in shot there. And into this right-hander, and then this chicane, which of course really get your brakes up to temperature to make sure that you can slow the car down. Here comes Hendrik Viol, potentially on Giacomo Rinaldo here. There they are, side by side, and this now is going to be the start of the Shell race. Jan Bernier is going from P1. He's got his arch nemesis, Mitchell Green, right alongside. Then it is Tibor Valent and Ernst Kirkmeyer. So let's see the start of the Shell race then. Jan Bernier to the right-hand side of your screen, Mitchell Green to the left-hand side of your screen, and then it is right behind the car of Tibor Valent and Ernst Kirkmeyer. Heading up towards the lighting gantry right now. Who will it be? Will it be Mitchell Green? Will it be Jan Bernier? Here comes the acceleration. You can see there both Ernst Kirchmeier and Tibor Valent trying to get going here. And Mitchell Green with a very good start, I think. But Jan Bernier in the second phase of the start has got the pace, and of course he will have the inside line going into the turn. But Mitchell Green tries to hang it around the outside here. He has to run off the track. Now, did he gain through running off the track? Race control will take a look at that. Of course they will, as we hope all cars get through the first sequence of turns with no problem whatsoever. So it is Mitchell Green on track, and strife there for Tibor Valent, who is stricken right across the circuit. Good avoidance by every other driver. That was brilliant driving from those that were coming amongst, though, that Tibor Valent car, which was struck right across the middle of the track. So here has Jan Bernier got something of an issue because he's dropping down now, and you can see Ernst Kirkmeyer trying to come through on Jan Bernier. Mitchell Green, as I say, I think race control will take a look at that to see if he gained an advantage. Von Skeltema up to P4. So heavy braking now into the chicane. Jan Bernier turns in. He's got the inside line. He will have the gun line, if you like. Now, the second start, I've been told, is under investigation, Tony. I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah, it was a really late acceleration from Jan Bernier, and the whole grid just went like on Thursday, really wide. There were 4 or 5 cars side by side, and then at turn 1, let's say turn 2 and 3, the first chicane, Mitchell Green really braked too deep and then went off the track and gained the lead of the race. So let's see what is the procedure. Is Mitchell going to give that place back, or does the race director need to get involved?
Because sometimes the teams will advise you, do you know what, give it back. Let's not get a penalty, just give it back, give the place back.
Yeah, right now he should give the lead back to Jan Bernier or whoever is behind him right now and take that P2 place like he was going into the first chicane.
So Dylan Medler is leading from Sergio Powlett for the Pirelli drivers. It's Enzo Eade and Blake McDonald who are leading in the Pirelli Am drivers. For the Shell drivers, Mitchell Green is ahead of Jan Bernier. And for the Shell Am drivers, it's Jean Roux leading Masaru Yoneda. And Fritz Muller is up to P3 for our Shell Am drivers. I remind you, every car has got a different, not every car, but each category has a different strip across the top of the windscreen to help you identify which classification and which category the drivers are racing in. If it's red, it is a Pirelli driver. If it's white, it's a Pirelli Am driver. If it's yellow, it's a Shell driver. It's black, it's a Shell Am driver, as we're watching Pirelli Am drivers right now.
And for the 2 Pirelli leaders, for Dylan and Sergio, the good thing is now there is a lot of Pirelli Am drivers in between. So the top 2 in Pirelli are really gaining an advantage and pulling away from the other Pirelli drivers.
You're absolutely right. Thanks for pointing that out. As we're watching Andrew Morrow here now. Andrew Morrow had a torrid time of it in race 1, and he'll be wanting to right the wrongs of race 1, and he's in P2 for the Pirelli Am drivers, chasing down Enzo Eade. He has got Blake McDonald right behind him, and then Michael Verhagen as well, and we know Michael Verhagen is leading in the European Pirelli Am Championship. We know what a great driver Michael Verhagen is, so lots going on. I didn't really see why Fernando Monche dropped down the order as Hendrik Viol is making progress as well. But yeah, Fernando Monche, he dropped down the order. He's starting on the second row of the grid, Tony, and he's now running much further down the order than he would like to.
Yeah, there's 2 drivers, Fernando Monche and also the Hendrik Viol, who were the 2 main characters on Thursday.
Yes.
So they are further back. And as we see in Pirelli, Dylan is getting more pressure now from Sergio. Sergio has that advantage that we mentioned on Thursday. He has the slipstream.
Yeah.
These cars were doing 320 on Thursday, 200 miles per hour, and lap time similar to GT3.
That's
so
extraordinary.
that really shows the speed of 296 Challenge cars.
Here comes Sergio Paula then, and as Tony is saying, he's got the slipstream advantage by tracking Dylan Medler. Those two have broken away from the rest of the pack quite significantly. And Sergio Paula, we know how hungry Sergio is. He goes into every race with only one ambition, and that is a P1 ambition. Isn't that true of every racing driver? Yeah, maybe so, but Sergio seems to wear that ambition with extraordinary determination. And there you can see the telemetry on the cars as well as we check out the gear that they're running and also the speed that they are pulling as well. And fascinating what Tony is telling us there, that these cars, these challenge cars, are with performance that is rivaling full-blown GT cars as well. Dylan Medler from Sergio Paula, and very little between the two drivers here. And that is the Lisa Clark car number 130. Now, with some gravel coming off the back of that, I would suggest that Lisa has perhaps been into a runoff area.
Yeah, that was in the first sector, just coming downhill from the Dunlop Bridge before Ted Rouge, so turn 4, before going to the first of the back straights. And I think, she had gone off the track. We could see some stones flying from the car, and looks like she was able to continue the race.
Okay, Dylan Medler then at the moment is able to show a clean pair of heels to Sergio Paula. I just wonder, Tony, is it really difficult for Sergio to run in the air behind Dylan constantly? Will he just take a break from it every now and again and let the car settle down a little? Yeah,
that's a fine balance because he gains, being in P2, he gains on the long straights where you go full throttle, but he needs to work that steering wheel harder on the high-speed corners. So he doesn't have that famous clear air coming through the nose of the car and has the right aerodynamic effect. So he's struggling a bit. He probably needs to overwork the tires a bit, but he gains at the same time every straight line between 1 to even 4/10 just because of that slipstream.
Thank you, Tony, for land up. Well, currently, Mitchell Green certainly hasn't given that place back to Jan Bernier and feels that he's not going to. That's fine. We've certainly seen no indication that he's being told to give that place back either. Although we are seeing that there is a drive-through penalty to come for one driver, and that driver is Karl Runefeld, driver of car number 181, for causing a collision. But, yeah, so at the moment, perhaps race control have looked at this, Tony, and felt that, because Mitchell Green did run off the track and gained the lead, we felt, from the camera angle that we saw, but race control, race direction, they have so much more information available to them than we have, Tony.
Yeah, they will double and triple check the start and the opening corners, the first corners after the start. Mitchell was not really forced to go wide or go to that deep in braking. He wanted to outbrake Jan Bernier, and he did so, but he couldn't stay on track. So let's see in which way the decision will go, but it's not an easy task for the team, for Mitchell Green, but also for the officials to make the right call.
And in fairness, Tony, I know as a driver advisor, you've sat in race control more than once, Tony, and Claudio Garavini, who is our race director, I mean, they really strive over these decisions. As Sergio Paula now just takes a look, he dives out of the slipstream of Dylan Medler here. We'll go back to the point I was making with Tony in just a moment, but is this an opportunity for Sergio Paula? And behind, look at this battle that is going on with Enzo Eid, P1 in class, and Andrew Morrow defending very, very hard there from Blake McDonald for Formula Racing. So a lot going on in Pirelli Am.
Yeah, a lot going on, but also the two drivers are coming through the field a little bit. Fernando Monche and also Henrik Viol, the two really fast drivers on Thursday, so they are gaining on this group now, and that battle behind Enzo Ide, it will be very exciting. So Enzo has the duties to pull the whole group, and the others are fighting behind him.
Yeah, and there he is. There's a big party there, isn't there? There's Enzo, there's Andrew Morrow, there's Blake McDonald, there's Fernando Monche, there's Michael Verhagen, there's Henrik Viol. And here is Sergio Paula, who is quicker than Dylan Medler, but it's all very well being quicker. You've got to find a way by here. And at the moment, he has been denied. Now, will Dylan be driving any more defensively, or will he know precisely where to place the car to deny Sergio Paula the opportunity?
This is also almost a repeat from race 1. So Dylan was leading the race most of the time, but he needs to cover those lines. He needs to be very aggressive Dylan is famous for being a really late breaker, so he can take the maximum out of the brakes and the tires, but at the same time, you're using a bit more than you would like to, and that's maybe opening the chances to other drivers to follow, and in this case, for Sergio to be close behind.
It's extraordinary how these two have broken out a gap of over 4 seconds from the next pack. Now, I appreciate that pack is a very busy pack. You can see it there. It's like a 7-way fight that's going on. But it just proves that the pace that these two drivers have got. Andrew Morrow really sliding the car through the chicane there in the hope of staying ahead of Blake McDonald in the all-black 296 Challenge car. Dylan Medler, Sergio Paula once again. So just back to the point that I was making, that race control have got so much information available to them, so many cameras, so much data. And something that we do in the Ferrari Challenge is we have top drivers like Tony Verlander, who will spend time in race control as well, because they see things from a racing driver's perspective rather than a race direction perspective, and I think that's a really good thing that they do. Ernst Kirkmeyer there, driver of the 106 car, is chasing down Jan Bernier at the moment. It is Mitchell Green leading ahead of Jan Bernier, then it is Ernst Kirkmeyer. They have broken away a bit from von Skeltermar, Robin Mays and Karl Runefeld. And there, the flashing of the lights from the Jan Bernier car. Does that really work, Tony? I mean, it's just a distraction tactic, isn't it?
Yeah, just a little bit more pressure, just to show off that I'm here, I'm following, and the flashing of the lights almost saying that I'm closer than you think. So, not really a big effect, at least on me, but I don't think even on Mitchell Green. It's more the driver behind saying, like, I'm going to catch you, I'm going to overtake you.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, Mitchell Green at the moment is doing a steadfast job, it has to be said. And, as Henrik Vial has gone off, as the car got around there. And Enzo Ida is one of them just to the left of the screen. I could see that there. I wonder if that's Andrew Morrow, the car that we see beached in the gravel there, and Enzo Ida, because we saw Henrik Vial coming through as well.
Yeah, that's a big one. Breaking into the first chicane after the Rouge on the back straight, and most likely that will bring some more action. At least the slow zone, where on Thursday there were big issues. Some drivers just went through the slow zone where you need to be 80 kph, went over 200.
This is Sergio Paula. He's going for the move on Dylan Medler now, and he's got the draft on Dylan Medler and Sergio Paula. This is for the overall lead in the race, the lead in Trofeo Pirelli. They are absolutely side by side, firm but fair driving from both of them here, and Dylan Medler is able to deny.
A lot of confidence from Sergio to be outside.
Safety car, forgive me interrupting you, Tony.
Yeah, the safety car was one of the big options for this accident that happened in the first chicane. It was a quite big one. They collected many cars, so safety car will neutralize the race.
Discussions going on in the Rosso Corsa pit wall there, or on the Rosso Corsa pit wall, I should say. And just before the safety car was called for, I thought Sergio Paula was going to come through on Dylan Medler. It was so close. Right, Tony, let's see what we can see here.
Enzo runs in the wall. Under braking, he touches the car on the right hand side.
Morrow.
Yeah, just misjudged in the braking. The one thing to point here is the track at that point is not flat. It's a normal street, open road normally, yes. And it has a very high inclination. The center of the road is very high,
so
and
there's a camber across.
Yes, and if you get it in the wrong place and you brake very hard, it can upset the balance of the car. So you either need to stay on the left-hand side where you're going or on the right-hand side. But if you stay in the middle, it can upset really the car. And normally when you have a lot of rain, that center lane gets more drier during the race. So Enzo Ida just lost the control a little bit under braking, and he clipped the left-hand side of the other car, and that's when everything happened.
That's such a shame for
high
both
speed,
of those drivers.
Very good. Almost 300 kilometers per hour.
What that does, Tony, it just reinforces the integral safety of the 296 Challenge car. We've seen Enzo, we've seen Andrew walking away from the cars, or certainly we saw Andrew walking away from the car. It's Andrew's return to the Ferrari Challenge racing after having missed the opening part of the season. It's a great shame. He has so much promise. He's such a good driver. Former Trofeo Pirelli champion in the UK, migrating to the European Championship. And, great shame. So safety car is out. That neutralizes everything. And as you say, if nothing else, it gives the drivers just a chance to breathe for a moment, Tony.
Yeah, the thing is here, not exactly sure what is the procedure. So in my time with the Le Mans 24, we had the 3 safety car procedure. Now, obviously, with the split start, we have a huge gap between the categories. So if there is only one single safety car collecting all the cars together, it will take time. If we have more safety car, here we see, look at the reaction with the Pirelli start. Dylan had to cover also on the left-hand side a little bit because the other drivers with the reaction.
But Enzo was on such a mission, wasn't he, right at the start of this race? Now, bearing in mind, he's a Pirelli AM driver.
Yeah, and he had a good clear run through the first corners.
He was really mixing it.
Yeah. And with the drivers, you can clearly see that they had one race start under their belt. Here we see, it's not really clear 2 lines.
No.
And here we see the moment of the race. So on the left-hand side, there's Mitchell Green fighting for that lead of the race, and then he really breaks deep. But there's no pressure to do that. He's completely to the right-hand side of the track, and he just overshots the corner. And there's no pressure for Jan Bernier. There's no contact, so let's see.
I just looked at that from a different perspective to you. And in my opinion, he was ahead of Jan. But he still, would he have stayed ahead if he'd have stayed on the track? That's the argument, isn't it?
If you break 30 meters later and you cannot stop the car. Here we had the moment coming downhill, and luckily nobody had further accidents because of this spin, and everybody was able to avoid the car.
Yeah, that was really great awareness from every other driver. It was Tibor Valin, and that was Lisa Clark in avoidance, Tony, I think.
Yeah, there was 2 cars ahead of her that really suddenly stopped, and you see almost running. Whoa, look at this.
And that's with...
that's very forceful.
That's Henrik Hamstrup, and that's Tibor Valin on the inside of Henrik Hamstrup. They came together.
Yeah, that was quite a late move.
Yeah. Okay. There we can see the cars then behind the Richard Mille safety car. Dylan Medler leading Sergio Paolo, Fernando Monche, then Hendrik Viola, Max Micheli. That's the order in Pirelli for Pirelli AM. It's Michael Verhagen, Blake McDonald, Giacomo Ronaldo for the Shell drivers. It's Mitchell Green ahead of Jan Bernier and Ernst Kirkmeyer for the Shell AM drivers. Sean Roux, who is ahead of Masaru Yaneda, and Paolo Scudieri is P3 for the Shell AM drivers. Those are the top 3 in all the categories at the moment. Safety car is called for about half distance within the race, and the safety car was called for because there was an incident between Enzo Ida and Andrew Morrow, which was really, really unfortunate, but inevitably brought out the safety car. Let's take a look at the highlights of what was an extraordinary race 1 now as the marshals do their work. So as the cars were released, you can see that they were all champing at the bit. Fernando Monche and Dylan Medler. Andrew Morrow almost getting to the inside of both of them. The highlights of race 1, Ferrari Challenge. Dylan Medler running wide, Fernando Monche not doing so, Sergio Paolo also running wide too, and Jan Bernier leading for the Shell category, 3 abreast. My goodness me, how brave as Dylan Medler momentarily losing out the lead of the race, but he wanted it back again and determined. He took it away from Fernando Monche. That was a big save, I have to say, from the number 6 car of Adrian Lewandowski, who managed to hold on to that car where many would have lost. But he certainly didn't. 1 or 2 just drove really, really hard and found that they ran out of the tarmac that they needed. But there was a lot going on, whether it was Pirelli, Pirelli AM, Shell, or Shell AM, and Hendrik Viol, a Pirelli driver, certainly on something of a mission. If he could win a race at Le Mans, then that really would be the icing of the cake for the Scuderia Prague driver. And that's what he was targeting, and that's what he achieved as he saw the checkered flag. Now, Jan Bernier would be across the line first. Unfortunately, he would suffer a post-race penalty for a slow zone infringement. And you can see just how delighted all the drivers were. The podiums, of which Tony Verlander was in charge, was a great success story, as there we can see from Casa Ferrari. All the Ferraristi enjoying race 2 of Ferrari Challenge. We are in a safety car period at the moment. Now, the incident involving cars 22 and 4 is under investigation by race control. When we see that under investigation, Tony, precisely from a race control point of view, what does that mean?
Yeah, so they're going back and forward with the images from video, from different angle, giving their opinions on the first impressions, and then also the thing that you mentioned earlier, that often there is also a driver with a little bit more experience that gives his opinion as well. So combination of different opinions, and then you come to a conclusion if there is a penalty, if there is a drive-through, if it's considered as a racing accident or racing situation. So, but it starts with the images. Also, sometimes you need to monitor if there were yellow flags already, what was going on with the marshal points. So it is quite solid procedure that often repeats the same steps.
Thank you, Tony, for explaining that comprehensively. The clock continues to tick down, of course, when we are in a safety car period, and we have 12.5 minutes remaining of the Ferrari Challenge Race 2 of our Le Mans weekend.
Hello, my name is Jacob Bistrup. I'm from Denmark.
My name is Anders. I'm 42 years old. I'm from Denmark, and now we are at Le Mans
2026
to try the big, huge racetrack.
To race at Le Mans, first of all, is a very special opportunity. This track, it's not open every day. You cannot just book the track. So to try the track, it's a huge privilege. We are very excited.
It means a lot to share it with my brother. Our main goal, I guess, for many other race drivers as well, is to race the 24-hour Le Mans. And now we get a sneak peek of the real taste together. So that's a huge experience.
So now it's time to point at the other or raise your hand. Point at the most competitive one. Point at the more nervous before a race. Point at the calmest before the start.
The calmest, yeah.
Point at the biggest perfectionist.
That would be me.
Maybe you, maybe none of us.
Point at the most picky about details. Point at who spends more time checking the car before going on track. Point at the more aggressive on track.
That would be...
Yeah, it's probably me.
Point at who takes more risks.
I have the biggest damage history.
Yeah, he is the expensive guy in new parts because he goes outside the track and hit the barriers.
Point at who is harder to overtake.
Maybe you. I don't know.
Point at who is the worst passenger.
I don't know. I'm always the passenger. When we drive together, I always in the passenger seat because I don't want to waste time driving a normal car. So I'm always a passenger. And when we drive on the racetrack, I like to sit in the wheel seat.
Point at the better cook.
Cook?
Yeah. We don't cook.
Point at who is more likely to forget something. Point at who will finish higher this weekend races.
I'm afraid so, this weekend.
The Bidstrup brothers being tested then, and there you can see they're taking a look at data. Anders and Jacob Bidstrup then, who fantastic addition to the Ferrari Challenge, under 10 minutes of race time remaining. Want to say a big thank you to all the marshals, because without these Boys and girls in orange, we wouldn't be able to enjoy the wonderful sport that we do. They're all volunteers, and we say a big, big thank you to them for ensuring that we can enjoy motor racing. So there we can see the Ineco Reparto Corsa Ram team there, and I think that looks like the back end of Giorgio Sanaggiotto, I think, just taking a look at data there. And safety car Tony Verlander is going to come in this lap. So we are going to get some more racing in. And I have to be honest with, depending on what recovery had got to be done and any repairs that had got to be done, I wasn't sure that we were going to get much racing, but we are going to get probably the thick end of 7 minutes worth of racing still to come.
Yeah, really effective recovery procedures from the marshals. And obviously, these are one of the best in the world. They are already ready for the main race, the 24-hour. Very interesting on the last insert, like we mentioned on Thursday, is for many of the drivers, there is the dream of the 24-hour race.
Of course.
So racing here gives you a chance to learn the track, get to the groove, get to the rhythm of racing here, and then there's always the dream of coming back here one day and doing the actual main race.
What was it like when you did it for the first time, Tony? Was it, I mean, with the greatest respect, the country of your origin means that your character is wonderful. But
less emotion.
You don't wear all that excitement all the time, but, you know, it must have been something special.
I think in my case, the overall between 10 to 15 races here that I've done is everything has hit later on.
Okay.
When I've been pro racing and active, the schedule is so tight. You prepare for the races. You prefer. It was almost like one race in the racing calendar.
Okay.
But nowadays the importance is different. It has so much history. It has so many great stories, and also we were able to put our little signature on the story as well, winning 2 times the GT category with the 458, the
yes.
GTLM car. So it's very, very, very special race. But like often, athletes, they don't have the time to really recognize everything when you are active.
Okay.
It hits you later on.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for sharing your emotions with us, Tony. We appreciate that, and very much appreciate you being on air with us. So, is this a renewed opportunity?
Is it Mitchell?
I regret to say
311.
It is Rodin Ionessi.
Oh, it wasn't Mitchell. But that happened behind safety car.
But that has happened behind the safety car. Now, does that mean that the safety car will not come in, Tony, or will they still allow the safety car to come in? Where was that on the track, do you think?
This was on the straight line after Arnaz, so the very slow right-hander, and then there's a long transition to these high-speed corners. So it happened in the middle of this queue of behind safety car. So probably cars accelerating, braking, and the other car ran into the rear bumper, and that's why 2 cars out.
Well, perhaps that's far enough away. We know we've got a double yellow at Marshall Point 27. Maybe they'll control that, the double yellow. Safety car certainly has come back in. Is this another opportunity, or perhaps the best opportunity for Sergio Paulat to get alongside Dylan Medler and take away the lead of this Trofeo Pirelli race? Michael Verhagen leading in Pirelli Am ahead of Blake McDonald. And let's get ready to go back to racing again then as the cars accelerate away right now. Dylan Medler backing them up, and he is able to give it 100% on the loud pedal, but Sergio Paulat has anticipated well. Hendrik Viol is trying to come through the pack also. So for the first time of asking from the restart, you can see Dylan Medler and Sergio Paulat. Paulat, of course, is under pressure because he's got drivers right behind him. And that just allowing Dylan Medler to get up the road a little bit. And it's more than a little bit now, as he stretched his legs 4 or 5 car lengths.
Yeah, very impressive restart from Dylan Medler. A big power oversteer coming from the last turn, showing that the tire pressures are low. The grip is not there, but he has the great feeling with the race car. And look at the lead. He's pulling already.
That is a significant lead, isn't it? And we've got another safety car, Tony, and the reason for that is Giacomo Ronaldo, I think, is dropping down the order, I can see. And that, I fear, will have done for our race with just 4 minutes remaining.
Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes we have the saying that safety cars do bring more safety cars. So that's very unfortunate. And actually, it's like you mentioned.
Red flag
red
now.
flag, yes.
So there we have it. That's a great shame. So Dylan Medler, he was perfect in terms of, we talk about this often, when it comes to a safety car restart, the driver that is in the lead is his responsibility. He's the one that's allowed to accelerate when he wants to. But once you accelerate, you've got to stay accelerated, Tony.
Yeah, but he did a really good run from the last chicane on the main straight, and then he had a lot of confidence throughout the first sector after the safety car. But also, similar strategy than on Thursday. Dylan had the lead, and he was defending aggressively. His strong point is braking. He can really dive deep.
You said that early on. Yeah, the king of late breakers.
Yeah, he has a lot of confidence there, and he was able to cover the lines and protect his lead from Sergio Paulet, who was really on a similar pace, but this time was Dylan Medler's better luck and better. He had the right position, and yeah, on Thursday he was unlucky with the puncture, and today he win.
I was just going to point out, Tony Verlander's dressing room is the third window on the right-hand side of Casa Ferrari there.
Yeah, the towel hanging on the door, yeah, that's mine.
He gets makeup. No, Casa Ferrari is a wonderful place where Ferraristi get the opportunity to enjoy everything. And I know you spend a lot of time in there, not enjoying yourself. You're there working, Tony, but to be able to share our passion with everyone that's in Casa Ferrari is truly enjoyable.
Yeah, the concept and also the red area here. This is actually our Hyper Club guests that are staying on track. So we have a very special opportunity with the Ferrari top clients to enjoy the experience of Le Mans. So some of the guests are here since Wednesday, and you can really spend the daytime but also the nighttime spotting the cars, going around the track, and from Casa Ferrari you have a straight view to the last chicane. And I was watching the end of the qualifying on Thursday and also the night practice, and it is amazing with the sound, with the glowing brake discs and everything. It's just a very special place to be, and you can see it from our clients as well that they are really enjoying the Le Mans experience.
Juliet, to the left-hand side of your screen, Juliet is Dylan's partner, and I have to say, I have such a good relationship with Dylan and his family. And Dylan, Sergio, and Fernando Monche are going to be the top three Pirelli drivers. Top three AM drivers going to be Michael Verhagen, Blake McDonald, and Danilo Del Favre, I beg your pardon, Danilo Del Favre. The Shell drivers is going to be Mitchell Green, Jan Bernier, Ernst Kirkmeyer. For the Shell AM drivers is going to be Jean Roux, Masaru Yaneda, and Fabian Sperman. So they will write their names into the history books of Ferrari Challenge at Le Mans. And there is driver coach. You can see, I was just about to say, Tony, I know I wax lyrical about this, but from a racing driver's point of view, as Alessandro Balzan, who I have to say gave us a lift yesterday, LA cabs. Yeah, I was about to say, as we're looking at our paddock here, you win and lose as a team. The team share the emotions that you do. You have to pedal the car, Tony, but the team help you do that.
Yeah, it is a very tight relationship with the team. You work together. Drivers, they don't fix the cars. They don't do the setup. They do the driving. They say how the car is handling. Then it's up to the engineers and team to prepare everything for the driver. So it is a really, really nice team effort. And when you have success, that brings the whole team even closer, and you share those nice moments together.
Car number 74 is going to get a time penalty of 5 seconds. So that is going to take Fernando Monche out of P3 and elevate Hendrik Viol to take that final podium place. That's a bitter pill, isn't it?
Yeah, not really sure why the penalty is there. Maybe a contact, maybe something with the procedures regarding yellow flags, red flag even. So, yeah, very unfortunate penalty for Fernando.
There's also another driver under investigation is car number 181, Carl Runefeld. We'll see this on the screen in just a moment. He's under investigation for drive-through penalty not being served correctly. Does that mean crossing the white line when he came out, potentially, Tony? Or
not sure. It can be the timing thing. It can be something that he didn't respect the procedure at the right time. Maybe it took too many laps to. Maybe it took too many laps to serve, or it can be either way.
Okay. Orlam Sonara there, who's a kind of team boss, and he again, the emotions being shared by team members as well as by drivers. Ferrari Challenge then, with two awesome races here at the Circuit de la Sarthe. Great shame that we're ending this race under a red flag and a safety car, but actually I want to say, Tony, that I think our Ferrari Challenge drivers have been great ambassadors for this wonderful racing series. We've had two supreme races.
Yeah, they're really, really great show. It's very visual on even the images that these cars are super fast.
Yes.
And to handle these cars, Ferrari Challenge cars here at Le Mans, high-speed track, a lot of high-speed corners, so they did really well, and was fun to be part of, and also very nice revenge comeback for Dylan, having the puncture on Thursday and now win on Saturday just before we get to see the 24 hours of Le Mans. So very, very nice show from Challenge, and I hope Challenge is back at Le Mans.
Oh, me too. We have confirmation then that the penalty that is given to Fernando Monche was actually for track limits, Tony. So track limits and the 25-second time penalty for car 181 with a drive-through not served correctly. So there we are, confirmation from race controllers those penalties and why they were dished out and how they were dished out. Are you on podium duties again today, Tony Vallady? You're not. Oh.
Maybe I didn't do a good job on Thursday.
I find that really hard to believe.
So really out of podium, not serving the ceremonies well enough.
Yes, he's been given a penalty.
Yeah.
Oh, Tony.
Yeah.
I have to say, Tony and I shared commentary duties in North America, and I want to say a big shout out to Andrew Coley, my buddy, that's the commentator now for broadcast for Ferrari Challenge in North America. But I do miss you guys. We had some great fun, didn't we?
Yeah, we had good times. Always a pleasure working with you, but also Andrew.
Yeah.
Very nice to. We are into second season with him now in
yes.
FNA, so that's nice. Good times as well.
Yeah. There's Mitchell Green then, and despite our protestations, he has won the race, Tony. So well done to Mitchell Green. And there's Jean Roux, European driver, a driver of the 108 car. And Jean will be very, very happy with that. He's having a very, very good season, it has to be said, in Ferrari Challenges, Jean. And there's our paddock, the Ferrari Challenge paddock to the left-hand side, you can see there of the screen. So, Ferrari fans then, as we can see, drivers walking away, and how lovely is that? Always making time for the fans. Yep, everyone trying to get their vantage point, not only for the 24-hour race, but they were in early to make sure they got their vantage point for the Challenge race as well. And once again, the Challenge drivers have not disappointed, delivering two exceptional races. And we will be back with the Ferrari Challenge, I feel sure, here at Le Mans. One or two cars with a little bit of panel work to be done. Always inevitable, I suppose. And they're a great heli shot of our paddock here with the Ferrari Challenge. So, back at Le Mans. And there is the Dylan Medler car. Bouncing across the curbs. He is an aggressive driver, that's for sure, but driver that certainly means business. So we'll take a look at the highlights of race 2 then from the Ferrari Challenge here at the Circuit de la Sarthe with our Pirelli Am, Shell and Shell Am drivers ready to take to this extraordinary and iconic circuit. Taking the super slow-mos of the race winners in each of the classes before the highlights, and there were plenty of them. There you can see the Top cars lining up. Race 2, Ferrari Challenge at the Circuit de la Sarthe. Dylan Medler, Sergio Paula and Enzo Ida all champing at the bit to get going. Dylan Medler, however, utterly determined to maintain that P1 place, and he did it going through the first sequence of turns. Sergio Paula would chase down Enzo Ida, a Pirelli AM driver, was also chasing, and then it would be the turn of the Shell and Shell AM drivers to get going, with Jan Bernier and Mitchell Green side by side going into turn number 1. Mitchell Green then braked really deep. That meant he ran off the track. However, the overtake was done before then, and therefore he got to hold on to that. It was a scary moment for Thibaut Valint, who went around, but every driver holding on and making sure they did not come into contact with Thibaut Valint. Lots going on elsewhere through the pack then in what was going to be a race of much action. Safety car was called for. There were zones of slowness, as you would expect, but Dylan Medler, who had such a heartbreaking time in race 1, had a brilliant time in race 2 and was able to take victory. It was Michael Verhagen for the AM drivers, and Mitchell Green for the Shell drivers, and Jean Roux for the Shell AM drivers. And there we can see the cars all lined up. And a confirmation of the classification then for Trofeo Pirelli. The results by Faye. Dylan Medler taking the win from Sergio Paula and Hendrik Viol. Then it was Max Mugelli and Fernando Monche. Those the Pirelli drivers. The red graphics indicating the Pirelli drivers and where they finished in their race. Hopefully we'll bring you the graphics of all of the categories. They're outside the impressive hospitality here. Michael Verhagen takes the win for our AM drivers ahead of Blake McDonald and Giacomo Rinaldo. Then it was Danilo Del Favaro. Juha Turalba making his debut this weekend. Well done, Juha. Adrian Lewandowski, Anders Bidstrup, Foad Algenim. Well done, Foad. Good result ahead of Otto Blank, Herbert Guys, Joseph Dean, Paul Simerson, Nobuhiro Amada. Enzo Ida, Andrew Morrow, regrettably down a few laps, having been taken out. Jacob Bidstrup not classified. Those the Pirelli AM. For the Shell drivers, Mitchell Green victorious ahead of Jan Bernier and Ernst Kirkmeyer. Then it was von Skeltermar, Robin May, Jan Sandman, Ofer Levy. Andre Lewandowski then taking 8th place in the Shells ahead of Eric Chung, Sven Schirmer, Jay Logan, Peter Hunter, Lisa Clark, Thibaut Valint, Karl Runefeld. Big grid of cars for the Shell drivers, of course. And then for the Shell AM drivers, it was Jean Roux ahead of Masaru Yoneda, Paolo Scudieri, Fabian Sperman, Ian Morris, Alvaro Ramos, Andreas Seminara and Alexei Komarov. Again, he had heartbreak in race 1 and put it all together in race 2 here at Le Mans. Those are Shell AM drivers with Henrik Kamstrup, Melissa Kozira, Shintaro Akatsu, Alois Meyer, Leon Renbeek, Yasuhito Fukui, Roy Carroll, and Roy Carroll finishing P15 for our Shell AM drivers ahead of Lawrence Lau, John Lennon, Steve Check, Louis Peruscua, Kevin Charles King. Then it was Bernard Gomez and Robin Unesi, and they finished ahead of John Turner and Fritz Muller. So confirmation of the classification from all of our Ferrari Challenge categories then, and there we can see the boss, Tony, to the right-hand side of our picture there. Mr. Elkan, of course, here for the Ferrari Challenge racing as well as the 24-hour race.
Yeah, it's great to see our top management from the Ferrari to be here to support the challenge races and the podium, but also the 24 hours of Le Mans. So this is great commitment from Ferrari, and big thanks to Ferrari Corse Clienti, but also ACO, allowing Ferrari Challenge to show their skill and speed here during the 24-hour Le Mans.
I want to say a big thank you to you, Tony Verlander. Great working with you, as is always the case. And yes, this was the Ferrari Challenge here at Le Mans with our 2 races done and dusted. Hope you've enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed bringing the action to you. Of course, we continue racing from here. We will head off to the Algarve and the Portimao circuits before Budapest, and then, of course, the final round of our 2026 season, which will be in Barcelona. Bye-bye for now.